This is Nithya Ramachandra from the NRR Sports Show. This is episode 991. We are live on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, on all the podcast platforms. So fans, please tune in. You can ask questions to Michael Blair, who's today's guest on the Spreaker app. So please tune in, ask questions. This is going to be a good one. We are joined by Michael Blair. He's a former NFL, XFL, AFL running back. Man, he played for the Packers, Bengals. He went to Ball State for college. Now he's doing big things off the field. He got to his dream, obviously, with the Jamaican Bobsled team. He was able to do that. Amazing. That's amazing. And now he's a coach. He's a president of Chicago NFL Alumni, and he's an actor too. So he played in the movie We Are Marshall with Matthew McConaughey, and also Game Plan with not only the one and only Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Ooh. Man, we're going to get to all of that. And first of all, Michael, I just want to say thank you for joining the show. It's truly an honor. And how are you and your family doing today? And like I said, your resume speaks for itself. You got to keep going.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. The family is good. 991.
Yeah.
I like it.
Almost 9 away from 1,000. So let's go.
I know. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So everybody jump on it. Get on the NR show and let's make this thing happen, right?
Let's go. Yeah, but today's about you, man, Michael Blair. Let's start off because obviously you've done a lot of stuff in your career. But I want to start off. When did you get interested? Obviously, your dream was bobsledding, and which is amazing sport. I love watching that. But we're gonna get to that. But talk about your football career and when did you get interested in football, and who would you say your biggest role model was?
Yeah, I remember in 85, right? So I mean, I've been playing football all my life, right? You start on the streets on the south side of Chicago. You playing blocks against blocks. You're going down the block. I lived on Crandon. Crandon's going to go play Oglesby. Crandon's going to play Our Lady Gate of Heaven. You know, like different blocks in the neighborhood, the churches. We just a group of guys going out there to play pickup football. Wow. We're playing on the street. If we got a patch of grass, that's cool. But we're playing on the street, and if you get too close to the sidewalk and there's grass over there, you're going to get hit off the street onto the sidewalk, right? So that was cool. But it was in 85 when I was sitting there watching TV with my dad, and, my father's from Jamaica, my parents are from Jamaica. And I turned to him and I said, "Dad, I'm going to do that." He just looked at me. He said, "Do what?" I said, I'm gonna do what they're doing on TV. His response was, "Okay, it's going." And so, the rest is history, right? After the 85 Bears, and they won the championship, and just catching the bug and just keep on firing and keep on doing.
Wow, yeah. So obviously you're running back. So take me. Who do you look up to as far as running backs throughout your career when you were working at aircraft?
When I was playing and when I was watching, definitely Walter Payton, definitely Barry Sanders, definitely Bo Jackson and Eric Dixon. Wow. So I was like, okay, I want these four guys. If I could take a bit of each one of them and put it on me like armor, then I could become all of them in some kind of way. So different parts of the game required me to be fast like Eric Dixon. Other games required me to be like Barry Sanders, Walter Payton with the heart just running through people, and I'm a big man like Bo Jackson, right? So, when I was a kid, they was like, "Oh, you look like Bo Jackson." I didn't see it. I don't. But man, those are the guys I was looking at.
Yeah. So speaking of Chicago Bears, being from Chicago, did you ever get to meet Walter Payton or his son?
I never got a chance to meet Walter Payton. I did meet the family at an event. They held an event in his name. I did go to his golf outing when he had it, but I never got a chance to meet him.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so for you being a multi-sport athlete, it's really important now in this generation for kids to be multi-sport, versatile, and a lot of coaches, teams, and you're a coach. You can speak this for yourself too, because I'm sure you love players that are versatile. So how important it was for you to be a multi-sport athlete?
Oh, I think being a multi-sport is important. I think if you want to be the top athlete, you need to play multiple sports.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, play multiple sports, recruit different muscles to do different things. The social aspect of it, you get different coaching styles and you understand different coaches. Your teammate aspect of it, different ways to approach guys in different sports. The numbers just go on and on and on, or how that philosophy goes, and just the way that you think, right? So being able to switch, being able to give yourself a rest of the sport that you just came from. Maybe you get some more hunger after you go play another sport. So you do need rest. I mean, I look at these baseball players,
Yeah.
and they play all the time.
Yeah.
If burnout is a thing, so I think that playing multiple, if you look at all the athletes out there, a large percent, I don't even know what the numbers are on that. You should check that out. I'm gonna look at it. The numbers on that has to be high. Guys are always talking about what they used to do. Football players always talking about, yeah, I used to play basketball. And I was like, nah, I used to play baseball. Yeah, I used to do this. I was like, nah, I used to do track too. I mean, we're always comparing, right? So
yeah, I gotta look that up too. Now I'm wondering. I think it should be high though. I think it should be high for all athletes. I think, in my opinion, yeah, I think it's high. So
yeah, I think so too. I mean, what you got some basketball players out there. Of course, MJ, Mr. Jordan, he played baseball. Allen Iverson, I think, was an extraordinary football player. So, it's out there, right? You play multiple sports, you definitely gonna climb the ladder, get as high as you want to get.
Yeah, so we already have a fan question in here. They're already jumping ahead of your acting career. They want to know what was it like working with Matthew McConaughey and Dwayne Johnson.
Man, Matthew McConaughey is, well, both of them are awesome people, right? They're awesome people. Matthew McConaughey, we had a great conversation. Even when he, sorry about that. Even when he, we had a great conversation talking about what we're trying to do. What am I trying to do? Me being out there portraying.
Oh. Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so he said that you got to remember, when people come to the movie theaters, they actually know the person that you're portraying.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to do that justice. You can't come out here joking around and while the scene is going on and things of that nature. And it kind of gave me a different taste of understanding what I was doing. So just sitting back and getting information from him was awesome. The Rock, I mean, he's bigger than life. With the thing that was crazy was The Rock had to lose a lot of weight to play the quarterback position. So, and we all know about losing weight, right? That's a lot of discipline. So just even that showed me and told me that this guy is serious about what he does, and just like anything that you do, if you're gonna do something and get into something, you got to take it 100% and become that. And both of those guys do that very well.
Here's my question. So me and my friends, we watched both of these movies that you were in 100 times. We had no idea that you were in these two movies until now. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I think your audio cut off. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear?
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I want to talk about your high school career. And in high school, other than running back positions, did you get to learn any other positions throughout your career?
Yeah, when I was playing in high school, I played actually DB, defensive back, and running back. So those were the two positions that I played, and then obviously kickoff return and punt return and things like that. But DB and running back, those are two. I went to go play linebacker, and the coach laughed at me and said, "Get out of here." So I was like, "All right, cool, no problem. I'll go back over there to DB."
Wow. Yeah. So tell our fans about some of your best moments as a high school player. And we have another fan question. They want to know, what was it like playing underneath the Friday night lights, underneath the lights on Friday nights?
You know what was crazy? Here in Illinois at my high school, Thornwood High School, when I played, no
No
Friday
Friday.
night game.
Oh
We
wow.
played on Saturday.
Mm.
Yeah, so we played on Saturday at 12. And
Wow.
I actually missed the college games because I was playing at the same time. And
Oh,
if we did have a Friday night game, it was maybe one or two during the season.
wow.
So for those one and two during the season, I can say that it was definitely a treat because now I felt like a rock star.
Yeah.
Underneath the lights, playing against other teams. Everybody's coming out. The weather is beautiful.
Hmm.
You can't beat that. But then again, when you're playing on Saturday, it's like, man, the sun is bright.
Yeah.
High noon, you're looking into the sun, it's beating on you.
Wow.
Man, just playing football, just being out in the elements. I love playing outside. I love being outside, and that was a part of it. I loved it.
Yeah, so speaking, I want to talk about like this is what I love about when we on our shows we learn a lot from these athletes when they talk to us. And for you, like you said earlier, when you were a kid, you pointed to the TV screen and you told your dad, "I want to do this." And how crazy is it now when you look back? You got you look at the TV and you say you got to that goal. You were playing in that game. So how crazy is that now when you see that?
Yeah, when I look back at it, I mean, people always talk about manifesting, like
Hmm.
putting it out in the
Yeah.
cosmos. If I can look back and say if that is an example, and yes, it is 100%, right? You don't know that's what you're doing, especially at that age. Even when you get older and you still talk about things, you don't know that that's what you're doing, but it is. But whew, yeah, it's crazy, right?
Hmm.
It's but you have to be crazy. You have to be odd, and I use that word crazy loosely. You have to be odd, and my thing is always saying, being number one is an odd number. So why not go ahead and be number one in the best version of yourself, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, so tell our fans about some of your best moments as a high school player.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Oh, tell our fans about some of your best moments as a high school football player.
My best moments as a high school football player.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so my brothers and sisters went to CVS, Chicago Vocational High School, and we played them in the playoffs.
Oh,
Yeah, and I had like 150 yards,
wow.
just killing them. 10, 15 carries. I was having a very good game. That was one of my highlight moments. Um, is I still do, love doing kickoff return
Hmm.
and getting the ball and getting at least 30, 40, getting halfway down the field and then having the offense jump back out there and, the coach give you the ball again when you're hot out there making it happen. Um, Man, that's high school. You want college too?
Yeah. So speaking of college, yeah, let's talk about Ball State, man. Speaking of Ball State, that's is a great program for sports. Obviously, college football. Their football program is growing now. And what was that like for you being part of Ball State University? And the year you went there, 1996, you were part of the Cardinals Las Vegas Bowl.
Yeah, Ball State. You know, when I got to Ball State, that wasn't my original school that I wanted to go to.
Hmm.
University of Illinois, Nebraska. I mean, you had all these big colleges I was recruiting, and I didn't pass the ACT. I had the GPA, but I just didn't have the ACT. And then I took it the second time and got the ACT. Who's left me? So I called up Ball State, Eric Campbell, and I was like, Coach, I need a school. Let me find out what's going on. And he said, can you come up here Friday? And I said, yes, I can. Obviously I talked to my dad and we went up there on Friday and watched the spring game. And at the end of the spring game, they said, hey, if the senior doesn't come back, then you possibly have a scholarship. So senior didn't come back, got the scholarship. Then it was all business after that, getting there and wanting to play so bad my freshman year and didn't.
Hmm.
We had great backs like Tony Nibbs and Corey Crooms. Corey Crooms
Oh.
was a senior at that time, and he played with the Patriots.
Hmm.
And we had the punting coach named Dollar Bill. He said, "Hey, you need to wait your turn." And I was like, what does that mean? Wait your turn. But at the same time,
I did wait my turn. I was MAC Freshman of the Year. I got Scout Team Player of the Year, MAC Freshman of the Year, and things were just rolling. And the experience at Ball State was so cool, right? Because even though at that time in the '90s, we were, one double A considered, or excuse me, we're D1, but we're still considered a minor, D1 minor, and we were still winning championships.
Wow.
Right now, my class, the 90 came in there in '92. So '93 we won the championship, and '96 we won the championship. So currently, my class is the only class that has 2 championships in the 4 years.
Wow.
So the experience is just over the top. It's kind of winning class, and when you're winning, all the bad stuff is not too bad, So the experience was a very good experience for me.
Yeah. So speaking of, yeah. So obviously you sat out freshman year. What did you learn from the freshman year, sitting out and just observing from the sideline? What did you learn as a player from that?
Yeah. So sitting, you learned a lot, right? So I had the opportunity to travel, and while travel meaning, you get on a bus, you get on a plane, and you go to these games with the varsity team or with the team, but you're not playing. And what I learned from that was how to stay cool and calm. It was like I got experience and I didn't have the pressures of what was going on the field, right? And so when you're in that situation, the best thing to do is just watch, learn from their mistakes, learn from their victories, and then when it's your turn to do it, you make it your own, and you go out there and do the best that you can do.
Well, yeah. So speaking of best moments, tell our fans what was that like playing in that bowl, the Cardinals Las Vegas Bowl?
What was it like playing in Las Vegas Bowl?
Yeah.
It was. Well, first of all, I've never been to Las Vegas, right? So that
Yeah.
was exciting. Out there in the desert, playing in the stadium. This bowl was amazing, crazy, right? Because this is the best against the best, in theory, with those 2 teams, and man, just seeing all the lights and something new. It's all about discovery. And then you go out there and you go in and you go play a game against some guys that are out there doing some. I mean, we didn't win a game, but at the same time, you can't deny the experience, right? Traveling everywhere and getting all those things. So yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah. So one of our fans wanted to know what was your hype music throughout your career?
What was my what?
Hype music. One of our fans want to know
Oh,
about
my
your
hype music?
hype. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was on my playlist before the game?
Yeah.
Reggae music. So I had some Buja in there, had some Beanie.
Mm.
Of course, you gotta listen to a little Bob Marley, kind of
Yeah.
calm me down a little bit. But Buja, Beanie, um, Spraga Benz, those kind of guys. And then when you come back to when I played the U.S. music, it was Busta Rhymes, Tribe,
Yeah.
Tupac, Biggie. I mean, the list
Yeah.
goes on. Sometimes you get some R&B in there.
Yeah.
You get Jaheim playing in the background. Sometimes Jaheim. So the list was a variety. Get some country music in there, little Garth.
Yeah. So our fans always bring the interesting questions to the shows. So get prepared.
Yeah, yeah, no problem, no problem.
But
I'm
yeah.
having
So huh?
I'm having a little technical difficulties hearing you, but that's okay. I'm gonna listen as keen as possible.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think it's on my end, but it sounds
Okay.
good. We good.
Yeah.
We can make it happen.
Yeah. So I want to talk about your obviously you were undrafted. How tough is it for you that you didn't get drafted and being with your family, waiting for your name to be called, and for unfortunately not getting drafted, but the Chiefs gave you the first opportunity to start your career.
Yeah, not getting drafted was crazy. I mean, the feeling was not good. It was crazy with the feeling because you're sitting there and you're watching, and you get the phone calls, and the phone calls saying, the Dallas calls and says, "Hey, we we have you high on our board, and we'll see what's going on." The Chiefs call, "Hey, we like." Well, not Chiefs didn't call. Excuse me. I can't remember who else called, but they liked me. I was on their board, but as the draft went, nobody signed me, nobody picked me up. And so the first day goes by, which is the first 2 rounds, and then the second day comes along, and then you got round 3, 4, 5, I think 7 rounds at that time.
Yeah.
And halfway through that, I left. I got up and left, and I was like, I can't take this no more. I can't sit here in front of the TV like I'm going crazy. And so, told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm about to go outside and walk around. And so I did that, right? And then I came back, and at the end of the draft, as soon as it was over, the Chiefs called. Like, as soon as the draft is over, the phone line is ringing. All these teams are calling. They want you. They're asking, hey, what can we do, and things of that nature. And so it was between the Chiefs and Dallas, and I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. And my agent says, hey, they're going to give you a little money. And at that time, I was like, oh, yeah, money.
Oh, man.
I went to the Chiefs my rookie year.
Wow.
That was amazing. It was Marcus Allen's last year.
Wow.
He's a great guy, right? He taught you the game, taught you how to be a professional. Taught you how to be a professional inside the game itself, and you can't pass up experience like that.
Yeah. So you should have came to the Cowboy. I'm a big Cowboy fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You could have been with you could have played with correct me Emmitt Smith. You could have played with Emmitt Smith.
Yes, that's what the coach said. He said, hey, you can come down here and play with Emmitt. You can be a backup for Moose Johnson. And I was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm a big Cowboy fan. I bleed blue and silver.
Nice. If I had to do it again, I think I'd have went to the Cowboys. I think I'd have done. But you never know. Hindsight is 2020. Right?
Yeah. So speaking of the Chiefs, yeah, Chiefs is another great organization too. So how grateful were you that they gave you the opportunity? And like you said, you just mentioned Marcus Allen, and you play throughout your career. You play with some great players, Hall of Fame players. And what did you learn from that throughout your career?
Yeah, I mean, every opportunity you get and you got a job, basically at the end of the day, it's a grateful experience. And you also you get a chance to travel. Again, I'm a big traveler, right? And especially when you're playing in the league, you're traveling a lot, things like that. What I learned from Marcus, he was the first time I heard him or anybody say, you have to learn the game from a quarterback's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what position you play in, you have to learn it from a quarterback's perspective. And I was like, at the time, I was like, man, what does that really mean? And basically what he was saying was, it's not enough to just do your position in your job. You need to understand what you're doing and how you fit in the bigger scheme of everything. And now you know why the other 10 guys are doing what they're doing. And now you know why what the other 21 guys are doing, because defense has to respond to what you're doing on offense, right? So that was one of the biggest things that I took from there. And obviously you go from team to team, and guys have impart their wisdom on what they're doing with the Packers. You talk to Brett, and Brett, practical joker, and he gives you some nuggets. Make sure that you're staying inside out because he has to get the ball out, things like that. So you got Dorsey Levens, and then you go to the Browns, and you got the list just goes on and on for the teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So obviously, speaking of one of our fans want to know, they're Chiefs fan. They want to know, what was it like playing behind Will Shields?
Behind who?
Will Shields.
Bill Shields?
Yeah, the right guard.
Oh, come on, man. Them boys will take care of you up front. You know what I mean? They those are your bodyguards.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got some great guys in front of us, and playing behind them is just awesome, right? Working together with them, because running backs are an extension of linemen, and so man, them big boys, they're big, but they are fleetful, right? They got some great feet, and they can do some extraordinary things. So, yeah.
We actually had a couple of your former teammates on the show from the Chiefs. We had Glenn Parker on the show, and we also had Andre Rison on the show too. So
Yeah, who?
Andre Rison on the show.
Oh, Bad Moon Rising?
Yeah. That was an honor
Yeah.
talking to him, man. This guy is a legend.
Yes, he is, man. I mean, man, Andre is so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we were teammates with the Chiefs,
Yeah.
and that guy,
I had
it always, I think it's the coolest thing when you feel like that you're at the bottom of the totem pole, and then you got cats like Andre Rison and Brett. You know, when they see you, they say, "Hey, what's up?" to you and recognize you. It just gives you another boost of confidence of like, okay, yeah, I am here. I am here. I am doing something. You know?
Yeah, I'll send you the interview so you can go check it out. But when he was on the show, he had his glasses on, all swagged out.
Nice.
It was
Nice.
fun. Yeah. So for you, when it comes to the Chiefs fan, obviously one of the best, in my opinion, one of the toughest stadiums to play in now till this day. And for you, what was it like wearing that red jersey and then playing in front of the fan base in Arrowhead Stadium?
Man, the Chiefs. You know what I loved about the Chiefs? The helmets, the white face mask.
Yeah.
I used to always say, I love the white face mask. Like that is what I want to wear for the rest of my life, a white face mask. I'm going to the Chiefs. Playing in Arrowhead, one of the loudest national anthems ever. When it gets to the end, it doesn't say the home of the brave. It says the home of the Chiefs. Everybody's screaming it out real loud. So, I mean, that was an experience. First time hearing that, right? You think you're going to hear brave, and then all of a sudden you hear Chiefs. You turn around like, what? So, man, great experience. Grandioso experience. And it's like that in every stadium that you go to. I remember we were playing with the Packers, and we went to go play the Vikings. Oh, my goodness. It's so loud. It was loud in that stadium.
Yeah, actually, Lambeau Field is another tough stadium to play in too for opponents.
Oh, yeah, Lambeau is. Hey, don't get it twisted now. Lambeau is. They out there rocking, and the thing about Lambeau is it doesn't matter the temperature. The colder the better, right?
Yeah,
They love it. They out there with their shirts off.
Yeah,
that's too much for me. I can't do that.
Yeah, so tell our fans about some of your best moments as a Chief and some of the games that you've been involved in.
Best moment as a Chief? You know, my best moments, it was crazy because it came in practice, right? You have these personal moments with guys that like I said before, let you know that you're there. And one of them was I was supposed to block for Marcus Allen, and the quarterback audible to play, and now I'm getting the ball and Marcus Allen blocking for me.
No.
So I mean, come on, you can't get no sweeter than that, right?
Yeah.
So here it is, a Hall of Famer blocking for an undrafted free agent, and, you know. So I definitely like that. That was definitely a moment.
All right. Sorry, we got some breaking news on my phone. You brought up baseball earlier. Baseball's back.
Yes, is it?
They finally agreed to this CBA deal.
Nice.
Let's go. But it's still not official, but it's close to being done.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. I like baseball, man. I used to play baseball when I was a kid. That was my secondary sport, and I loved it. I thought it was my primary sport, but my dad was like, "No, you're better at football." But I loved it.
You could have been a Bo Jackson type of player.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And now what I teach guys how to run. I teach baseball players how to be athletes and teach them how to run. So it's sweet. It's like full circle. I'm back out there. I feel like a baseball player, talking the jargon and everything. You know, teaching the game from a detailed perspective, teaching these guys the athletic side of things, and you know, teach them how to run the bags and get around the horn and, you know, and score.
Yeah, so another fan question just popped up. They want to know, what was your touchdown celebration when you scored?
My touchdown celebration?
Yeah.
I didn't have one.
Oh, no.
My celebration that's a lie. All right, so I used to stand like Superman. So I run the end zone, flip the ball to the ref, and put my hands on my hips. No, not spread out. Just put my hands on my hips. Like,
oh, wow.
My cape is flying, you know?
That's funny.
So that was it.
That's it? Nothing else?
Nah, nothing else. You can't do too much, man. They throw the flag on you. Mom, you upset. Coach mad at you. You're thinking about yourself too much. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah. So earlier you mentioned Brett Favre, and and when you went to Green Bay, you got to play with Brett Favre, Leroy Butler, Hall of Famer, who just got inducted to the Hall of Fame. You also played with Reggie White, the late Reggie White.
Yeah.
So what was that like for you? And going to Green Bay, playing behind by far one of the best quarterbacks in my opinion, and then the defense you had Reggie White, the late Reggie White, Leroy Butler, Hall of Famer now. So what's that? What was that like for you being in Green Bay?
Man, Green Bay, Green Bay was the best because they gave me the opportunity to be there for 16 weeks, right? And
Wow.
they also got that chance to go play against the 49ers in the
Mhm.
playoffs, wild card playoffs. And it's where I got my first car, it's where I got my first real bank account. And those Hall of Famers, man,
Mm.
Brett, Reggie, and Leroy. I mean, those guys, you talk about playing at another level. And they weren't just playing the games at another level, they were practicing at another level. And this is when you see different sizes of people from different walks of life doing extraordinary things, right? And it's when you get the full fledged of like what it is to be an NFL player.
Yeah.
This is my second year. I'm not awestruck anymore. I'm not bright lights. I'm not timid and scared. I know how to practice. I know how to go out there and do things. I know how to manage my time. And those guys they look out for you. They make sure that you stay over here, stay out of there. They lead you and point you in the right direction. So Green Bay was a good spot for me.
Yeah, and like I said, you learn from by far some of the best players in between your Chiefs career and your Packers career, and just to piggyback off that, Green Bay is a great organization, great franchise, and winning. They always win, always compete in the NFC. And for you, obviously being a former Green Bay, what I want to just get your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers coming back for next year.
What? Say that again. What my thoughts on
Aaron Rodgers coming back uh, to the
Rodgers coming back?
yeah.
Listen, man. Aaron Rodgers is no doubt one of the best quarterbacks in the league, right? We all know that. Everybody knows that. Um, I think sometimes in people's career, they just want to play football. And I think that's what Aaron is right now. I mean, I don't know. I speak to him. I don't know him. I'm just going off of body language. I'm just going off of years in the game. And at some point, you just want to play football, and that's it. So I don't know, man. I think sometimes I'm a I went to school for journalism, and I see these headlines come up,
Yeah.
and I don't know just if it's true or not true. Like I don't know. Like, is he really saying that he wanted to go somewhere? This is prior to
Hmm.
Russell being traded to
Denver.
Dallas,
Yeah.
right?
Denver.
Is he
Denver.
saying that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he saying something that's a little bit different, and then they're taking the words, or is this wishful thinking? You got what do you call it? What do you call it? Like fantasy
Hmm.
football, right? Is this like fantasy journalism? I don't know, man. But I think I think Aaron is awesome. I think he's an awesome player,
Hmm.
and hey, let's just go out there and play football, right?
Yeah.
What
So
what is sports without journalism?
yeah,
What is sports without conversation?
and
What
controversy.
without
Yep.
some talk? So
Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, like I mean, once Rodgers agreed to come back to Green Bay, then the Wilson to Denver was happening for sure. So
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. He decided to come back, and now everything is good to go, right?
yeah. So tell our fans about some of your best moments as a Green Bay Packer, and obviously playing in front of another great fan base. The Packers have a great fan base, also just like the Chiefs. And so, what would you say your best moments was as a Packer?
My best moment as a Packer was when we played. I think it was Detroit Lions, and uh, we kicked the ball off to them, and I was running down, and we just scored, kicked the ball off to them. The returner caught the ball and took it back. I think it was like 80 or 90 yards. Huffing and puffing, no commercial. The coach was like very upset. Special teams coach very upset. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
And we went back out there for kickoff return, and then Royal Preston caught it back 90 yards. No commercial. Jump back out there on kickoff, and then, but we stopped them. So that was one of my highlights, right? It was like bang, bang, bang. Special team was on fire that day, and that lets you know that you're in the game, right?
Yeah, so now tell our fans about obviously after your NFL career, you went to AFL and XFL. So what was that like the career in XFL and AFL?
Yeah, so you mean AFL as in like arena football?
Mm-hmm.
Or just so XFL, yes. And
Yeah.
then I did play arena football, that's
Yeah.
why I asked that. But yeah, so after my NFL career, bouncing around, going to the Bengals and the Browns, and then I went to NFL Europe.
Mm-hmm.
NFL Europe, and then I came back and signed with the Saints. Then after that, the XFL came up, and you know The Rock owns that team now,
Mm-hmm.
right? And or excuse me, that league. And I went to the XFL and played with the New York, New Jersey Hitmen, and that was a whole. It was better than what I thought it was going to be. It was football. It was about 90% of the players were coming back out of retirement. It was football at its finest for a alternative league, right? And man, we traveled. We got the 5-star treatment. We were put up in the. It was good, man. The XFL was really sweet. Loved it.
Well, yeah. So what was it like? Obviously, NFL is a business, and a lot of players move around all the time. But for you, what did you learn from moving from team to team and then going to Europe, coming back, and what was that like for you? The adjustment period.
Say that one more time. Sorry.
Moving from team to team, all sports is a business. So what for you? What was it like moving from team to team, and obviously going to Europe and then coming back?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, we know it's a business. And going from team to team, once I realized what that business was, then I turned it into experience as opposed to being upset. I said, okay, well, where is this experience going to take me? What city am I going to be in now? And then just enjoy the moment of where where I was, or where I am at that moment, right? Like, okay, yeah, I was in New York. Okay, well, what I've heard so much about New York. Instead of stressing yourself and wondering if you're going to be on the team or anything like that, how about you just go enjoy New York? And so once I started to do that with all these teams, then it was a lot less stress. Like when I went to New Orleans, I used to every Sunday go. There's a horse ranch next to the zoo, and I used to go to the horse ranch and ride every Sunday during the off season, right?
Wow.
Until the season started up. And so that made things a whole lot. Had something to do besides stressing out. Yeah.
Wow.
So being a tourist of every team and being a historian and tourist of every city that you go to.
Yeah. So we have another fan question. They want to know what was your nickname?
In what? The XFL?
No. In your career.
Just in general? Just in general?
Yeah.
No, I never had a nickname.
Oh wow.
I never
Okay.
had a nickname. You know? When I was in the XFL, I put Gladiator on the back of my jersey, but that's about it. But as far as a nickname, no, I didn't have one.
Oh wow.
Cool people have nicknames. I wasn't cool. Please just call me by my last.
Yeah. So speaking of these other leagues like CFL and XFL arena football, and now you got the USFL. What do you like about this growth of having making sure these athletes get other chances? Former NFL players still getting chances to play, but in different leagues. So what do you like about this growth of leagues?
No, man, that's awesome. There's so much talent that's out there, right? There's so many guys that we don't know about that are hungry and want to
Yeah.
play. At the end of the day, it's just playing. At the end of the day, I just want to play. And there's a lot of guys out there who have that mantra about themselves, right? And so the USFL coming back, like, ooh, yes, man, I got goosebumps. I was like, yeah, I want to play. Can I come back out there? So it's a good thing, man. Get guys out there doing what they want to do. You know, help out with that mental health. Because when you're done playing, you definitely go through some things. You
Yeah.
definitely go through separation anxiety. You get a little depressed because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing or what you thought you're supposed to be doing. You feel like that you should be there and you're not. And nobody's calling you no more. You're not cute no more. You're not cute.
Yeah.
Cute girl no more. You're not the new kid in the building that everybody likes. You're not that no more. So,
Well,
you got to do a lot of soul searching when you
yeah.
play this sport. High reward, high risk.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. So I want to talk about now. Let's get to your other dream, bobsledding, and obviously you got to live that, and your parents being from Jamaica, you got to be part of the Jamaican sled bobsled team. And what was that like for you, living your other dream and getting to that goal and representing your country and where your parents are from? And what was that like for you, that the bobsledding team for you?
Man, it was amazing, amazing. Like in the beginning, when I went to Jamaica and had an American football camp in Jamaica, right? And that wasn't my intentions. That wasn't on my mind. Um, when I was younger, I saw, I think it was Willie Galt and Herschel Walker, I think,
Oh, wow.
and they were doing bobsled, and I was like, "Oh man, can I do that?" And then after that, I forgot all about it. But then when I went to Cool Runnings came out, then it popped back up in my head, and then so the Winter Olympics was there, but it wasn't like really there. I didn't know much details about it. And then I went to Jamaica in 2016. I had an American football camp there because I got big dreams of, bringing kids from the US to go play in Jamaica and having kids from Jamaica playing each other, things of that nature. And me uh, on the TV show, and he said, "Hey, do you want to do bobsled for Jamaica?" And I was like, "No, I'm not doing bobsled. I'm too fat. I'm too big. I'm too this. I'm too that." Just making a bunch of excuses. And then he says, "Oh no, you'll be fine." I was like, "Man, I weigh 200 and too much pounds, right?" He was like, "No, you'll be okay." And then at that time I was 41. I was like, "Man, I'm like 40, 41 years old." He's like, "No, you'll be okay." And sure enough, 3 weeks later, uh, so it's definitely the experience is nothing. There's nothing out there like it. I mean, you can say a roller coaster, but you're not flying. The temperature is not, 10, 15 degrees. The roller coaster has a seatbelt on there. And in this bobsled, you don't have a seatbelt, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's just the G's, you get up to about 5 G's on each turn,
Wow.
and you can crash and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely something that I thought was extraordinary. Part too that I loved about it was, my father passed when I was in college, so
Hmm.
um, I I I carry his his uh, his triumphs, his victories. I carry that in my heart because it's a measurement that I'm trying to do. Like I
Yeah.
want to be where he was and things of that nature. And so one of the things of him being a national athlete for Jamaica, right? My parents are Jamaican. I said, man, how cool would it be for me to be a national athlete? And
Wow.
so once I started setting the goals, the rest is history. It's just a matter of, okay, how can you get there, and who can you put around you to get you to help you get there, right? And so uh, it was all a great thing, man. Loved it, loved it. I'll do it again,
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah. So speaking of that, tell one of our fans want to know, how did you balance everything out while you're being a multi-sport athlete, and how did you balance out your the other stuff you have to do throughout the day? And one of our fans want to know about that.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a great question. I remember my grandmother telling me that everything happens in seasons, and so that's basically what I do. Everything happens in seasons. When I think there's a break in the season and I can fit it in, then I fit it in. But my executive function is so important, time management, organization, things of that nature. And that's what I do in education, and that's what the 90-10 sports does, is train athletes and teaches them through executive
Yeah.
function. So make that, and it becomes autonomous, automatic. You don't have to worry about it. It's just something that's a part of your life. And so balancing and just making sure I have a planner. Man, if I don't have a planner, my brain is like, what is going on? And why are you running into this wall like you don't know what's going on? So definitely a planner, definitely asking a lot of questions so I can get to an end. And most important is not wasting your time.
Yeah.
That's so important, right? We often do things to waste time when we could have used that 30 seconds to actually do something that's efficient, right? And doing something in that 30 seconds could fix a 10-day thing. So yeah, that's what I do.
Wow. Yeah. So speaking of, yeah. So I want to talk about now. What was what was your reaction when the Jamaican bobsled team made it to the Olympics? This Olympics. What was your reaction to that?
I was excited.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy. But I was also saying to myself, that's not enough anymore.
Right.
That's not enough. Okay, that's cool. We made it to the Olympics. Now it's time to be in top 5. Yeah, it's been what, 30 something years? 33 years, 30 plus years. It's time to make it happen. So what we gonna do? What we gonna do in the next 4? We're gonna make it to the Olympics again and is that the standard? Make it to it once. And now it's trying to be podium. So, and I'm not saying that they're not doing that or not thinking like that. I'm just telling the rest of the world, you know what I mean? Like it's cool, but my mindset now is like, okay, now it's time to be in the top 10. Now it's time to make it to the podium.
So will you come back? Are you still trying to come back for bobsledding eventually, or are you done with bobsledding too?
Man, come back for bobsledding? I am 47 years old. Oh man, yeah, why not? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah, like if they come back to the Olympics, in the next Olympics, if they make it to the next Olympics, would you consider going back?
Yeah, I'll be 51.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like yes, let's do it. 51, let's get him.
Yeah, no, but it's always an honor and to represent your country, and especially where your parents are from and living your father's legacy and following in his footsteps. I'm sure he's proud of you, man. You worked hard and you have a great resume as an act. I mean, obviously actor too, and but now I want to get to coaching. What's like coaching these young kids, young athletes that are trying to get to their goals, and not only coaching, you're also on top of that, you're also a president for Chicago NFL Alumni. So what's that been like for you?
Man, yeah. So coaching the kids now, right, or just coaching people in general.
Yeah.
I love doing that because I understand what coaching does for source and a service to somebody else. I'm all about that, right? Love just seeing the light bulb comes on when somebody gets it. I love seeing the change in the biomechanics of movement when they get the aha moment. So, and then also with football in general, but I'm an offensive coordinator right now.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see an offensive play being put together from scratch, to see the design, explain why guys are doing certain things, why you're running to the flat to make this linebacker move out so you can replace him with another receiver, that type of ordeal. The chess movements of that, right? It's super exciting to see, and so that's what's cool about coaching. And then life skills coaching is cool too. Again, just being a resource for somebody and giving them an answer that they didn't have the answer for, and then seeing their response, how they respond to it. So that's cool. As far as being the president of the Chicago chapter, the NFL Alumni Chicago chapter, that is, I'm doing a lot more than I thought, which is okay. Meeting a bunch of great people out there like yourself, and sitting down and getting the opportunity to talk about it. It's just it's cool stuff, man. It's cool stuff. So a lot on the plate,
Yeah.
but it's still cool.
Especially doing it from your hometown, being from Chicago and being the president. What does that mean to you? Is that something extra special for you?
Yeah, hometown kid,
Yeah.
in Chicago, doing it from Chicago, absolutely, 100%. I already know the lay of the land, right? So now it's just a matter of meeting people and going places, and sometimes I'm going places that I thought I'd never be for that reason, and it's cool to be at home, right? And it's cool to let the people that you meet know that, hey, I'm from the city, so how can we make this city better by our presence, by us just being here, by us having camps here? Because as the NFL alumni, we take care of kids, and then we take care of our own, so we can take care of kids, right? So we look out for each other. We help guys in transition when they get out of the league, and we answer questions for them. And when the big kids, which is us, when we're mentally good and when we're healthy, then we can always turn back and reach down and pick the small kids and guide them and give them direction, right? So, yeah, it's a beautiful thing, especially in your hometown, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of Chicago, one of our fans want to know, have you gotten to meet Michael Jordan yet?
Have I met Michael Jordan yet?
Yeah. One of our fans want to know.
Never met Michael Jordan.
Oh, no.
Never met him. I watch him all the time on YouTube. I watch all the TV shows. When he speaks, you know what? Jordan, when he does his interviews, I was so captivated. I used to sit there and just watch him and just listen to him, the way that he speaks, how he said his words. That's what I want to sound like, right? That's obviously you put your own spin into it, your own flair, you have your own personality, whatever the content is. That's confident level when he was speaking was just it was artwork. It was artwork, art form at its best. So, but that's the only way I met him on
TV. So, I mean, what's obviously once I'm sure you're gonna meet him in person at some point, but what's that gonna be like the first time when you go meet Michael Jordan? What's it gonna be like once you meet him in person?
Say that one more time. What's gonna be like what?
Yeah, what's gonna be like once you meet Michael Jordan in person for the first time? Eventually.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shake his hand, dap him up. So whatever the protocol is, put some what do you call it, hand sanitizer on after. But just say what's up to him. How you doing? How you do it? I already know how you did it. I watched all your documentaries. So
Yeah.
what's up? You want something to drink?
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. So for you, how grateful are you to be in this position and to be able to do a lot of things in your career, like acting, playing football, being on the bobsledding team, and being a president for Alumni, and being a coach, and obviously working hard throughout your career. And what's this been like for you? How grateful are you to be in this position, and also talking about your story on other podcasts like this or platforms?
You said how grateful? Or?
Yeah, how grateful are you to be in this position right now, to be able to have the resume you have, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
Every day, sometimes I have to. Well, you know what you've done, but then when you hear someone else say it, and then you hear all the things that you've done, it's like, wow, right? Like, when do you find the time to do all that stuff? And um, man, it's just, I don't know. It's just so. Let me see. To this, first of all, very grateful because um, the people that you meet, right, can say no, and then you can never have that opportunity. But I'm very grateful for myself to be stubborn, right? To 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 say, okay, this is over. Now what? And then my response is, well, you know what I've always wanted to do, and then I go and do it,
Yeah.
right? So I'm grateful to have that characteristic trait, right? Um, Grateful not to be afraid to be told no, because what it's just a no. It doesn't mean no, you can never ever ever, but at this moment in time, you can't. So it's always reflecting and looking back at what do you need to do as a person, and what other attributes do you need to have. And man, is it me going to be a bobsledder to go become a great athlete again, to put myself into that mindset of
Hmm.
being the best in order to change lane and try to be the best at being a president of the NFL Alumni Chicago chapter. And I think it all goes hand in hand, right? I think it's all connected. Because at the end of the day, I go right back to this executive function. And sometimes you need other things to spark and open for other lanes that you did not know was going to open for you. And
Yeah.
so, if you are prepared, and what they always say, luck is what when opportunity and preparation meets, right? And so, if you are always preparing, then when the opportunity is there, you know, you'll be ready. So, doing different things, wanting to start my own school, wanting to write books, that that gives me the opportunity to travel
Hmm.
academically,
Right.
right? And so we physically can travel from state to state, and we can learn from the things that we do. Like when I was on the Travel Channel and we were in South America, I've learned all these different cultural things and about life, and now I understand why it is where it is now, because we're all connected through cause and effect, right? And so, sorry about this.
Oh, it's okay. You good?
Yeah,
Who's
but
in the wait? Who is that? Your kid? Is that your kid?
sorry about that. Yeah, so it's yeah, I'm grateful for the journey, and I'm always learning from it. So that's where it's at.
Was that your kid in the background or?
No,
Oh,
so at the end of the day, right? I work in education, so um, I don't have anything at the end of the day, and the PA system came on, and
oh,
yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Yeah. So before we get to the actually last two things here, our team is part of this foundation. It's called the Hugh Jackson Foundation. He's a former NFL coach. Now he's a head coach for Grambling State University. We're trying to help him prevent human trafficking, making sure the community stays safe and the kids stay safe. So we'll send you the foundation so you can go check it out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And the last thing here, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and all the essential workers right now?
Say that one more time. Do I like to say?
Yeah, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and all the essential workers right now?
Oh, yes. Thank. Um, I know it can be stressful, um, but we are all in this thing together, and perseverance is what's going to ride us through, right? And just know that you can lean on somebody else that's in the same situation, and talk it out, get it off your chest, and then strap your boots back on, put your helmet back on, and get back out there. So appreciate everything that you do from this point on and forever, for everybody that's out there.
Yeah, well said. And before we close this out, would you like to plug anything to our fans where they can find you on social media?
Um, yeah, I mean, if Instagram, I'm at Blair Bobsled Jam. You can find me there, or Sports, which is NINETY, the number 1, the number 0, and then sports with an S on the end. You can find all the sports activity of me training people and things of that nature. And if you got any questions, just hit me up and I'll respond. If I
There
don't,
it is.
hit me up again.
There it is. That wraps up episode 991. Michael Blair, aka Jack of all trades. Thanks for joining the show today. Former NFL, former XFL arena football running back, Michael Blair. He played for the Packers, Bengals, Chiefs. Man, and also he got to his other dream, which is Jamaican bobsledding, representing the country for his parents, living his father's legacy. Man, it was just truly an honor. And now he's a coach. He's an offensive coordinator. Now he's the president for Chicago NFL Alumni. He does a lot of stuff. And I can't forget about acting too. So put the acting in there also. And Michael, I just want to say thank you for joining the show. It's truly an honor. And thank you to our fans for joining in and asking questions. Like I said, they like to bring those interesting questions to the shows every day. So thank you again, man. And I learned a lot from this. And your story is awesome. Keep up the great work. And we would love to have you back on the show down the line so you can meet the full team. But man, keep up the great work and thank you.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it, and thanks for reaching out to me. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Definitely.